All right, so the economic trade-off between time and money, I think, is really interesting to take a look at, because I think there's an amount of money that people are basically willing to do anything for, because some people value their time greater than they value money. But like, if you ask someone, would you go pick me up from the airport for $20, they'd probably say no, if they weren't friends with you. But if you offered them $100 or $150, maybe they would say yes, right? And so it's the same with working more marginally. A lot of people have a job or they work 40 hours a week because they need money. They need to pay their basic expenses. But anything beyond that, they're not really incentivized to work harder, because they value their free time more than they value working, 6-7 days a week. And some people will tell you that they work, they've worked years, they've worked 40 or 80 hours a week, 60, 80 hours a week for years. And that's, obviously they're motivated to make as much money as possible. The problem with a lot of those jobs, though, is that they're hourly. So you're trading your finite time, and you're spending all of that time at work just to make a hourly wage or an income per hour. And there really just isn't enough hours in the day for someone to work, 12, 14 hours a day, basically every day of the week. You're going to get burnt out. You're not going to have much time for anything else. Your health is probably going to deteriorate, and you might not be able to sleep that much. So in general, you're kind of, making somewhat of a bad trade, because unless you're getting a lot of money for your time, it's probably better just to not be doing that. Everyone needs to work a basic amount, 40 hours a week, maybe 45 hours a week, maybe a little bit less depending on what your job is, just so that they can have basic income. But working past that amount is a decision where people have to be compensated more. Otherwise, they'll just go do something else. They need a day off, they need 2 days off, they want to go to the gym, they want to go on vacation or do whatever. So they have to be compensated much higher if they're going to be working more than what a regular time employment is, 40 hours a week, 45 hours a week. And again, you want to try to get away from hourly jobs, because it's going to require you to physically be there. If you're working 60 hours a week and you physically have to be there, you're not going to have basically time for anything else in your life. If you have to go to the store, if you have to have an appointment, if you have a doctor thing, if you have family that you need to take care of, if you want to go to the gym, you're not going to have a lot of time. And a lot of other businesses are only open like during normal business hours. So if you're working 9 o'clock to 7 o'clock every day of the week, you're going to run out of time. And so that's the issue with it. There's really not enough hours in the day, and a lot of people are so tied to a job that pays an hourly income. And so they think the only way to get ahead is to just work more hours. But there just isn't enough time in the day, right? Again, if you make $30 an hour and you work 80 hours a week, that's $2,400 a week. So you're making about $10,000 a month before tax. That's still not a lot of money. And in exchange for that money, you're basically not living any type of life, because you're working 80 hours a week. So it's 12 hours a day, basically 7 days a week. You're going to get burnt out very quickly doing that. You're going to have no time for anything else. You're basically a slave. So people that are able to get ahead are able to basically do things that are much higher value. They maybe only have to work a few hours a day, but they're getting compensated incredibly well for those few hours, and they have a balance. They make a lot of money and they have free time. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to physically be somewhere 12 hours a day just to clock in and clock out and to get paid for that. So that should be the goal, because again, like I said, if you're stuck making a fixed amount of money per hour, unless it's like really high, if you're making 20, 30, 40, 50, even $60 an hour, you just simply can't work enough hours to have that money, to really make enough money to really get ahead. I'm talking about not just doing well, but actually getting ahead, like being wealthy, being able to afford a home, being able to afford all the other expenses of life, in addition to having some amount of free time, because there's no point to work if you don't get to spend the money. right? Everyone works so they can have money, so they can actually do the things that they want to do. Probably maybe 5% of people really like doing what they do, and they would do it regardless of how much it paid. But everyone basically works because they want to make money so they can go do whatever they want to do. They don't want to just work, for 80 hours a week for the rest of their life. They would stop doing that. So you got to figure it out for yourself. But if you're in a position where you're not really getting compensated on your effort, and you're just getting compensated based on your time, and the pay isn't even that great, that should be a sign to say, okay, I'm going to work less and just accept the lower quality of life. I'll have enough money to pay my bills, but I'm not going to put a bunch of energy into a position or a job that doesn't really pay me more money. Or you have to say, I need to change everything that I'm doing so that maybe I'll make the same amount of money in a different occupation, but I'll have to actually work less time. So you have a higher quality of life there. Or you go to a different occupation. I'm going to work a lot, but it's somewhere where you can make a lot of money. So in exchange for losing all of my time to this job, I'll actually make good money. And that's kind of what you have to do. So let me know what you think. Subscribe for more. See you on the next one. Take care.